All right, in this video, I'm going to show you how to best make a bar graph using Google Sheets. So in science, bar graphs are used to show the difference between means or averages. So the first thing you need to do in Google Sheets is to find an average. To find an average of some values, you first use the columns in Google Sheets. I like to go to the column, so I'm going to find CO2 average. I'm going to go to the very bottom of the CO2 column, which is down here around 106, right? And I'm going to skip a line. I always skip a line so I can keep organized. And you start using the formula function. So the first symbol you type in is the equal sign. That tells that the spreadsheet that you're typing in a formula. And now you'd like to start to type what you want to do. So in this, I want to find the average, and it starts to predict, and you click average. And then you'd like to select your first value and your last value. And I'm going to scroll up to the top and indicate that my first value is here. So get rid of that. My first value is here on D8. And so I'm going to click my first value, and I'm going to hold the shift button, and then I'm going to select my last value. Okay, so in the sheet, again, your average, I'm going to type in the first value, which is here, and I'm going to hold shift and select my last value. And now you can see right here where my cursor is, it says I'm taking the average of whatever's in D8 to D104. So you can type in those code numbers if you'd like, if you know the numbers. Besides holding shift, the other way you can select things is that you can click on a button on the bottom or the top, and then you can hold shift and press the arrow buttons to go up or down, so you can select different things like that. So again, I'm going to do the average. I'm going to select my top. I'm going to go down to the bottom holding shift. Now I have D8, and I'm going to 104, and I'm going to press enter. That value right here is the average, and I'm going to label it for organizational purposes. Okay, I'm going to do the same for the values for the other thing that I want to collect. So again, I want to go equals average, and I'm going to do the top value, and the top value is here. The bottom value is here, and now I have my 430 is my average in April. Now, in order to make a bar graph in Google Sheets, you have to put your data in a different format. So you have to actually retype the numbers. And so what I'm going to do down here in this little area, I'm going to retype my data. I'm going to type average for January here. Then I'm going to type a column that's called average for April. And I'm going to copy and paste my values by saying edit, copy. And when I hit paste right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say edit, I'm going to say paste special, and I'm going to paste the value only. This is an important step if you're doing copying and pasting. Your other option is you can just type in the number, like 437.1. The downside to typing in your number is you inherently round the value. So copying and pasting gets the exact value. So again, I'll show you that. You click on what you want to select, you hit copy by going to edit, copy, then you type where you want to put it, and you say edit, paste value. Okay, that gets the exact number pasted in here. I'm going to find the standard deviations using the same way as before. I'm going to type in, and I'm going to type in a formula by saying equals, and the standard deviation comes up as I start to press ST. And again, your top value, which is here, and your bottom value, which is down here. Holding shift, press enter. I have my standard deviation of 25. I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to do it real fast and label my calculations. Now, to make the graph, what you have to do, again, now that you've copy and pasted your values down here, like I just did, to make your bar graph, you're going to select your 4 things that you want to put on the bar graph. And you're going to say insert chart. It will give you some options. You're going to tell Google that you want to use 112 as headers, because 112 is your headers. A header is the title of your data. So again, you're going to select that option, insert a chart. you're going to tell it to use 112 as headers, and you're going to tell Google to make a column graph. Okay, my graph is almost done. I'm going to need to add titles, but the challenge is, how do you add those error bars? Okay, so the error bars, to add error bars, you have to do this manually. So I know that my standard deviation represents the error bar, so these numbers are how big my error bars want to go. And in January, I want to make my error bars 25.06, so about 25 units big, and in April, I want to make it about 14 units big. So when I insert my chart and I go to customization, after I've selected that I want columns, to add error bars, you scroll down at the bottom of this option window and it says series. Series is another word for your different independent variables. And so I'm going to select January. Okay, that's what's in blue. And remembering that January, I wanted the error bar to be 25, I'm going to tell the spreadsheet program to give a constant error bar with a value of 25. Okay, that now puts an error bar with 25 in each direction. Then I'm going to go to my April data, and I'm remembering that it's 14, I believe. So I want to make those 14 units big, and I'm going to go to my error bar as a constant of 14. And now, just checking my work, I have an error bar. I have my other error bar. I'm going to finalize my graph by labeling it properly. So the vertical or the left axis title, to give that title, my left axis title is my concentration of CO2. Now I'm going to give my horizontal axis a title, which is the months. And remembering that looking at this graph, I noticed that it starts at 400. And like we said, in science, we really want to start all of our dependent variables at the lowest value they go, which is 0. We can have a 0 value for parts per million. By starting at 400, we kind of show that there's a difference when really there's maybe not that much of a difference. So to change this scale right here, I'm going to go to the left vertical axis because that's what I want to change, and I want to give it a min value of 0. I also want to give it a maximum value, which according to my graph looks like about 500. Okay, and so now when I give those values in here, I realize that what looked like a big difference is actually not that big of a difference when viewed in the scale that it should be viewed. Finally, when I'm happy with my graph, I hit the blue button to insert the graph, and that inserts it into a Google Sheet, and I can change the size and then copy and paste it by going to Edit, Copy, and pasting it into my file. Finally, if you ever make a graph and you need to make changes, you click the little pencil button for the quick edit mode. That brings up a window where I'm allowed to change things. You can also click this little down arrow button, and that's going to give you the advanced edit. At this down arrow button, you can delete the chart if you don't like it. You can also copy it into another Google Doc. And so advanced edit brings back the options to change the title and to really change a lot of the things about the graph. Okay, thanks.